I love the moon and I want to share how to take pictures of the moon. So this is the anatomy of a photograph, and I'm going to show you exactly how to take pictures of the moon, pick it apart from your focus to your white balance to your, everything, and it's all pretty much going to be manual. When it's all said and done, you're going to be able to get great shots of the moon. It's going to be the Bombay, baby. Tonight we're going to be taking pictures of the moon. I'm going to show you guys what works, what doesn't. We're going to go through basically how to get a good shot of the moon, how to get the moon to look the way you see it when you look in the sky. So today I'm using a 300mm zoom. Ooh, fancy. Anyhow, it's a 300mm zoom. And it's not a super fast lens because you don't need a super fast lens to take a picture of the moon because of the fact that the moon is lit by the sun. So we're going to take a picture. It's going to be a lot like daylight shooting. Your settings are going to be about the same. You're going to be at f8, f9, at 1/60th of a second, right around there. It might be a little different on your camera, but for my camera, it's right around there. So you're going to do a manual focus just to make sure you get that right focus. Your white balance is going to be set to sunlight because the sun is lighting the moon. So there's no moonlight setting. You're going to go to sunlight and it's going to be perfect because it's sunlit, and you're going to get the right shot. Your meter in your camera is going to say, you're wildly underexposed. There's be like, hey man, don't shoot that. It's not going to come out. Don't listen to your meter. This is one of those times that your meter is just off the charts wrong. So don't listen to your meter in this situation. Listen to me. And don't listen to your meter. Just do the settings that I'm saying. This is how I'm trying to help you to avoid all that. Why isn't it coming out? Why is it a big unfocused ball of white light? That's how you get a moonshot. Fairly simple. You want to make sure that you're on a tripod. I don't have a tripod right now because my camera's on the tripod, but I would have a tripod here, sitting this on there, and I'm going to use my timed exposure. So I'm gonna set the timer so that when I click the button, it's going to take 10 seconds, and then the camera's going to shoot. And I'll do that so that my finger pressing down on the button doesn't jitter the camera at all. Any slight jitter will get you movement because the moon's so far away and you're so zoomed that you're going to get undesirable effect as far as your camera's jitter is going to make the moon look a little smudged and out of focus. So you want to make sure to do that. Tripod's essential. The timer, why not? It's not necessary, but why not? Get the better shot. Use the timer. Just take this 10 seconds to learn how to use the timer, and zoom in as much as you can. And then later on, you're going to crop it down in Photoshop to get a tighter picture. So when you shoot it, you're going to have this little tiny moon. But depending on your resolution is how close you can get without it getting all jacked up. So we're going to make sure that we get a nice resolution. Shoot at your camera's top resolution when you're shooting. That's the little L with the little rounded off triangle thing. Looks like a little baseball field or something. Make sure your settings are, like I said, it's going to be like shooting daylight shots. You're going to be at 1/60, 200th of a second, right around f8. And then, do your thing, change it however you feel necessary. If you want the foreground to be in focus, if you're going to have the moon behind an object, let the foreground be in focus by closing down your aperture. And of course, on the other side of your shutter speed, you're going to have to slow down your shutter speed as you shrink down your aperture. If you want, something in the foreground to be out of focus and the moon to be in focus, or vice versa, you're going to do your aperture a little wider. And then of course you're going to speed up your shutter speed in order to compensate for that. When you take a picture of the moon, you don't need a super telephoto lens unless you want to get a really clean, perfect shot of it, which, if you can afford something that's fantastic out there. If you can't afford to get a 300mm lens or a 500mm lens or even an 800mm lens would be awesome. Like, that would be great. 800mm, I'm shooting 300mm. But if you can get an 800mm lens or something like that, if you can't afford it, rent it. There's a lot of camera shops around. Sammy's Cameras in the LA area where you can go get a rental and go rent the lens. It'll cost you, I don't want to give any prices because I don't know them off the bat, but I would say under or right around $50 to rent a lens. And so if you want to do that and then really practice with it, see what it, and these lenses are like $6,000 lenses, $3,000 lenses, $2,000 lenses, and you can get them for, $50, $100. So, to be able to experiment with something like that, and that goes for any kind of equipment, It's very, very minimal fee to try it and to use it and to experiment with it. And you know, you get better. You don't have to own the equipment to get better as a photographer. You just rent equipment and then be able to do shots that you normally wouldn't be able to do. So thanks a lot. This was Anatomy of a Photograph, my new show. And you know, check out next month's episode or next week whenever I come out with it. And you know, I'll teach you how to do another shot. So stay tuned. Good stuff's coming.